Hey, it's Annie. Today I'm going to share a really quick distressing technique with you. This was actually my very first YouTube video, so I just thought I would show you again. My first video was really bad quality. Hopefully I'm getting better. I'm working on the lighting and everything. So here's my piece that I'm going to do a demonstration on. Let me move my thing there. Okay, so I'm going to show this close up so you can kind of see it, and I'm going to talk about it for a second while it focuses. So one of my favorite distressing techniques is using water and vinegar. This was something I discovered by accident, and you can kind of see here, this is how I did this technique right here. So I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, I was just painting a piece and I grabbed from my spray bottle that I thought was water to wipe something off, and then I noticed that, wow, it really works at distressing furniture. This technique can be used with chalk paint. It probably can be used with a clay-based paint, although I haven't tried it. And it can be used using Heirloom Traditions paint. That's the paint that I used. Heirloom Traditions paint is not a chalk paint. But it's like a chalk paint where it will adhere to any surface, and it will distress really easily. So that's what I use this technique. So what you need is a spray bottle like this that you can get at a home improvement center or a nursery or anything like that. It doesn't have to be this big either, just a squirt bottle, spray bottle. Fill it half with water and half with white distilled vinegar. I have not used this with any other vinegar. This is what I did, so that's what I'm sharing with you, okay? But I love this technique because you don't have to use a sanding block. When you use sanding blocks, especially if you're using, if you're doing like a distressed look at an old piece of furniture, chances are in that varnish or the paint, it has lead in it. So even if you wear one of those dust masks, it's still airborne and it gets all over you. It gets in the air, it gets on your sanding block. So this is just a really safe way to add a distressed look, okay? And I don't use sanding blocks anymore. This is what I do. So you take your squirt bottle. I'm going to do it on this opposite end here because I've already did it on the top. And this was painted with vintage green. This is one of my signature colors from Heirloom Traditions paint. Why can't I speak today? So I'm going to take my spray bottle. I'm just going to spray. I'm going to do it in this corner here. I'm just going to spray it. I feel like Vanna White. I'm going to spray it. And I'm going to wipe it off. I'm going to try to wipe it off. I'm doing this on a card table. That's what this surface is, so it's kind of wobbly. Okay, I'm gonna have to lay it down, guys. I can't do it like that. So you spray it on your piece and you rub it. Something's gonna fall off my table. I have to fix that. Okay. So you just rub it, and as you rub it, I'm clumsy if I haven't told you. So this is what starts happening. Can you see that in there? See how it starts getting kind of worn down, and that's the look you're going for, okay? That's what you get with this. So it makes it so much easier. So instead of using a sanding block to kind of sand it down and get that worn look, you can use water and vinegar. It's very, very easy. It's safe to use. You can't, like I said, you can't use it on spray paint. You can't use it on regular wall paint or whatever. You can't use it on a piece that's been primed because the primer's gonna make that paint adhere, so it's not gonna work. But this is what I use when I'm using a chalk paint or I'm using Heirloom Traditions paint. It probably would even work with milk paint as well. I haven't tried it on milk paint, but I'm sure that it works on that as well. So my advice is, if this is a technique that you want to try, just get like a scrap piece of wood, or like this is just a nothing piece that I got from the thrift shop, and just experiment with it. Just try the paint and try this technique on it before you do it on a piece of furniture to make sure that's the look that you want. But I really love this look because it just gives it a worn look. It doesn't give it a chippy look. It gives it more of a distressed, worn look that I really, really love, and it makes it so much easier. Now, some people have said, why don't you use just water? Because water will work. It does work. You can just use water to distress a piece, but I feel like the vinegar is this, I think it's the acidity in the vinegar that makes it much easier to distress on a piece of, a chalk painted piece of furniture. That's just my opinion. Another way, and I have not tried this myself, but I'll pass it along to you in case you want to try it. I've heard some people say that baby wipes are really great. You could take baby wipes and wipe down and get the same look too with a, using chalk paint or Heirloom Traditions paint. The only thing about using baby wipes that I don't like, and I haven't tried it, so I don't know if it works, but if it works, which I've been told it does, I'm just sharing that I don't know if it works because I haven't tried it. I'm just sharing what I know works. The only thing with that is, then you're buying baby wipes all the time, you know what I mean? So you're buying those and it's kind of wasteful. This technique, I just use old cotton rags that I get at thrift shop. I get like a whole big bag of them for $1. So it's really, really thrifty and cheap to do. So another technique that I'm going to share with you, I'm not going to demonstrate it today, but if you want me to demonstrate it, I will. But I'm just going to tell you another kind of, because I feel like this is kind of like a little like a cheat technique for painting, or distressing furniture, not painting, but distressing furniture. So another really simple way to like cheat a distressed look is, let's say that you want a distressed look with your furniture and you want to get like a couple colors. So say, you want to have like, you want to have green paint, but you want to see like chippy paint underneath, or the look of chippy paint underneath. A really great way to do that, to cheat, is to do it this way. Well, there's two ways. I'm going to share both ways, but I'm going to tell you why one of those is my favorite. It's more of a cheat. So one thing that you could do, one way you could do that, is you could paint your whole piece pink. Then you can go, after it dries, then you go back over with your green paint, or whatever color. I'm just saying pink and green. Do whatever color you want. Then after that green paint dries, then you can do the same technique that I just shared with you and just distress it down with this, vinegar and water, and then the rag, and then you'll start to see what's underneath there, the pink paint. Now the problem with that is you don't have as much control with that, because you might end up getting all the way down to the original surface. It's hard to say exactly what's going to show through once you start wiping that paint off. You might not see the pink paint so much. You might get all the way down or whatever. You just don't have as much control with that. Plus, you're wasting a lot of paint. You have to paint 2 whole coats of paint to do that particular method. So another way that you could do that is you could paint your whole piece green and then go back over on top of it with pink, or like I said, I'm just using those colors as an example. So then you go back over it with the color that you want to peek through. So then you would take your piece and you would just, in certain areas, you would just maybe on the edges, you would do a little bit of that color, let it dry. Then you can take and do the same technique that I just showed you with distressing, but you want to go easy on it, because what you're going to want to do is kind of blend it out a little bit. So you could spray it, or you could spray it on the rag, the vinegar and water, and just kind of go around the edges and just soften it up, and that will make it look like it's like you have 2 colors there. I've done that on a lot of pieces of furniture. It looks really cool, and you can get it to where when you're blending it, you can even, sometimes you can even get it down to the wood. So I've done pieces of that of wood, so I'll kind of do that, and then you'll see like, the color on top, the color that's sort of underneath, and then the wood. So it looks really cool. If you want me to show and share that in a demonstration on here on my channel, I'd be more than happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments if that's something that you want to see here and want me to show you. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite techniques. It makes it so much easier. You're not, like I said, you're not buying those sanding blocks. It's safer, and it's much cheaper to do as well, and so much easier, in my opinion, than using a sanding block. So, and one more tip too. If you're using this technique, you don't want to do like, if you're planning on like, I'm going to paint this piece and I know for sure I'm going to want to distress it, don't add 2 or 3 coats of paint on it. Try to get away with 1 coat. If you feel like it looks kind of like, I need another coat, then water it down a little bit, your paint. You don't want to get too heavy, thick coats on, because the more paint you have on, the harder it's going to be on, either whether sanding or doing this. It's going to be harder. So you don't want to do like a great big thick coat. And you shouldn't, I mean, if you want something distressed, you're not going to want that anyways. You're going to want that sort of unevenness or whatever to make it look authentic and like it's really been old and it's worn down and distressed. So I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that it's helpful to you. And if you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you did, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button below. And if you are, thank you so much for subscribing. Make sure you share this video with your friends, and you can follow me on whitelacecottage.com. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I'll leave all the links below. And that's it. Thank you so much again for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.